Let's take a moment to talk about something that has caused confusion, discomfort, and even division for centuries. It's the idea of God. Stay with me. This is not more of the same you have been hearing. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge two groups of people who might find this conversation difficult. There are those who believe in a personal anthropomorphized God, a being who is out there, separate from us, watching, rewarding, and judging. And then there are those, like I once was, who reject the very word God, associating it with religion, control, and dogma. For many years, the idea of God didn't just feel irrelevant to me. It felt oppressive. I couldn't separate it from the baggage of rules, institutions, and the sense of separation that religion often reinforces. But over time, something shifted. I realized that the confusion isn't about God itself, it's about the layers of misunderstanding we've piled onto that word. Religions, for all their wisdom, have often clouded the truth by externalizing God, turning it into an object of worship or a distant presence to seek. But the truth, as I've come to see it, is far simpler and far more profound. Let's start with something radical. Separation from God is an illusion. The moment we think of God as something to name, define, or conceptualize, we create a divide. We project our ideas outward and then chase after them, thinking God is somewhere else, something to be grasped. But this misses the fundamental truth. God is not separate from us. God is the very awareness in which everything arises. Now here's where it gets even more radical. Awareness, this simple, undeniable presence that knows your thoughts, sensations, and experiences, is not a thing. It doesn't belong to you or me. It's not contained in your body or tied to your mind. In fact, the body and the mind themselves arise within awareness. All sensations, thoughts, and perceptions, everything we call the world, appears in this field of awareness. It's like the screen on which all of life plays out. The screen doesn't belong to the images, and the images don't change the screen. Awareness is like that screen, infinite, indivisible, and untouched by what appears on it. Think about it. You might believe your awareness is tied to your body or mind, but can you find a boundary where your awareness ends? Does it stop at your skin? Does it shrink when you close your eyes? No. Awareness is not limited by your body. Your body appears within it, as does everything else. The observer, you, and the observed, the world, arise together like two sides of the same coin in this infinite field of awareness. This is where religions often get it wrong. They tell us to search for God, to seek God in holy places, rituals, or doctrines. But the truth is, God is not out there. God is the awareness within which out there appears. The body doesn't house awareness. It is an appearance within awareness. The mind doesn't produce awareness. It is a fleeting activity within it. Awareness is not contained by the world. The world arises within awareness. Take a moment to ponder this. Let's pause here and make this practical. Right now, you might feel like an observer, a self behind the eyes, looking out at a world that seems separate from you. But look closer. Where is this observer? Can you find it? Or is it just another thought arising in awareness? What about the world you see? Does it exist independently? Or is it inseparable from the awareness that perceives it? The truth is, observer and observed arise together. They co-emerge as part of the same indivisible event. And what is the foundation of that event? Awareness itself. You could say that awareness is the substrate upon which you appear, not as something separate, but as its very activity. You are awareness knowing itself as the observer and the world simultaneously. This understanding dissolves the idea of a personal God out there judging or rewarding us. It also dissolves the belief in a separate self navigating a separate world. What's left is the realization that God and awareness are one and the same. Not a person, not a thing, but the infinite field in which all things, body, mind, world, arise and dissolve. When this is seen, something extraordinary happens. You stop searching for God as if it's somewhere you need to find. You stop striving to achieve enlightenment, to be better, or to fix yourself. Why? Because the separation you thought existed was never real. Awareness, the field in which you arise, was never apart from you. It is you. The divine presence you've been looking for has always been here, as the still, silent essence of your being. Now, this might make some of you uncomfortable. It might sound like I'm denying the body, the mind, or the world. But that's not it at all. I'm saying that the body, mind, and world are beautiful, fleeting expressions of awareness, waves rising and falling on the ocean of being. They're not separate from awareness, just as waves aren't separate from the water. So, what does this mean for living? It means the struggle to protect, define, or control yourself begins to soften. The body no longer feels like a prison or a possession. It becomes part of the seamless flow of life, arising and dissolving in awareness. The mind's endless chatter loses its grip because you see it too, as just another appearance. And the world stops feeling like something you're at odds with because it's no longer out there. It's part of the same dance as you. In this realization, there is no you separate from God, no observer separate from the observed, no self apart from awareness. There is only this infinite, indivisible field of being expressing itself in countless forms. You are not a person who has awareness. You are awareness, appearing as a person. You are not in the world is in you. And when you see this, not as an idea, but as a living truth, everything changes. The fear of death dissolves because awareness is untouched by the coming and going of forms. The struggle for meaning softens because you see that meaning isn't something to be found. It's inherent in the flow of life itself. And the longing to connect, to belong, fades because you realize there was never anything to be apart from. This isn't about believing something new or adopting a spiritual practice. It's about noticing what's already here. Awareness doesn't need effort or striving. It doesn't need your mind to figure it out. It simply is. And in that simplicity, the illusion of separation falls away. What's left is the realization that God is not something you pray to or seek. God is the awareness that you are right now in this very moment.